Hi guys, Craig Nickel from The Bricks. Welcome back to step number 3 in our investment formula. Today we're talking about finance strategy. So something that's very important to us. We know that property is a game of finance. Our goal is to continue to build wealth through property. So to do that, we need to continually buy more properties to be able to help achieve what you want to achieve. So in doing that, the trap here is that a lot of people buy a property, buy their second or buy their third, and then they can't buy anymore because they can't get the finance to be able to purchase that property. So what we need to do is make sure that when we're starting our investment journey, that we go in understanding our full finance strategy that connects up to our previous video in step number 2, talking about our property investment plan. So you remember as well from the investment plan that we're going step by step in our purchasing journey on how we're going to go from 0 properties all the way to the goal that you want, which might be 10, 20 or 30 properties. So we need to do the same thing with our finance strategy. This will involve talking to your finance broker, the bank, accountants, solicitors, to make sure that you have a strategy in place that's going to allow you to continue to borrow as much money as possible. Everyone hits a ceiling at some point in time, and you've got to hope that equity is growing as well as cash flow in your portfolio. But we need to make sure that we structure things correctly so that we can make that next purchase. For example, the most recent purchases that I've made last year, we made sure that we structured things that I could buy that first property and it wasn't going to impact the borrowings for the next property. And that was done through different structures, which I planned out with my accountant, as well as solicitor and my broker as well. Everyone knew what was going on and it allowed for smooth transactions to take place. Not easy, because it does get more complex as you do continue to try and borrow money from different banks, but it still went through very smoothly and allowed me to leverage further and be able to build that portfolio. So leveraging property and being able to borrow as much as possible and getting this finance strategy is really important. So make sure that you have people in your corner that know what they're doing and that can deal with property specifically. And that means getting the right accountants, getting the right solicitors, getting the right advice from brokers, banks, whatever it is. Make sure you have people in your corner that can give you the correct advice to keep moving forward. If you're trying to plan out your investment journey and you're talking to people and they're not giving you clear answers on how you might be able to go from 1, 2, 3 properties to 5, 6 or 7, then you need to find someone else that's going to help you. And I know from my experience of dealing with people, you will get experts that tell you you can't do things, you can't borrow that much money, it's not possible. So when you're trying to find your experts, make sure as well that you're finding people that are yes people. They're going to work out a solution on how you're going to borrow more money, how you're going to achieve your dreams, rather than someone that is a no and it's going to create limits on your journey, because it's really going to hold you back if you're speaking to the wrong people. You might be speaking to a broker that says no, you can't borrow that much money, or no, you can't set up a structure that much, it's too expensive. You need people that are in your corner that know what they're doing, and within reason they're able to give you a potential avenue to achieve your goals rather than simply saying no, because you're going to find you'll move forward a lot further in your property journey, and this goes for anything really in life. So when you're talking to your finance broker, what are the key things that you need to discuss? Well, the finance broker is going to look at your current income, your current asset base, and try and work out how much that you can borrow from different banks and what sort of options that you have. I know for being self-employed, you've got very different options compared to someone that is just a PAYG, getting your income each and every week from an employer. So that's why it's really important to talk to your finance broker, see what sort of options that you have. Some people will have very few. A lot of people out there with PAYG jobs, they'll have a lot more options if they've got a steady flow of income. And then in conjunction with that, your next step, you're talking to an accountant. The accountant side of things is going to help you work out the tax side. So with property investment, if you're running a property investment business and your portfolio, you need to try and be smart with the amount of tax that you're paying. So that's where the accountant comes into place. They're going to talk to you about potential structures, potential ways that you can try and structure things to make sure that your tax is minimized legally as much as possible. And then in conjunction again with your accountant and broker, you've got your solicitor. They come into the party because not only are they going to provide advice on structure for all of your entities, if there's companies or trusts that are involved, but they'll also provide in risk management of your portfolio to make sure that you're covered as much as possible, and then with your finance broker and accountant trying to work out also how much you can borrow as much as possible. And they all work together. So it's not a conversation that you can just have with one of them. You really need to talk to all of them to try and come up with a full strategy, not just for now on this next purchase, but for the purchases into the future. So that ends the video on finance strategy. Again, if you found this really helpful, make sure to comment below, subscribe. We'd love to get more interaction with the community. And until next time, the bricks.